I think that's the difference between a professional cook and someone at home. Keeping your strainer inside the pans, you can quickly take it out.
Well, it's all about execution. You do it for 10 years and 15 years, and you learn how to save yourself a step.
Yeah, well, I guess that would be. Now, could you put those directly into the frying pan, or is this part of it?
You could, but I believe that you won't get the texture you want. It's not as thin of a cut or a leaf as spinach. So like spinach will break right down for you. Kale or collard greens, they just won't do that same thing for you. So I'm just gonna drain these for a second.
The draining part is important too, isn't it?
I just want to get some of that water out of there. I'll get some of that water out of there as I saute them down. So I'm going to couple tablespoons of olive oil.
Has there been a resurgence in the interest in kale, because it wasn't popular for a long time?
The more people go organic and go healthy, the more you kind of go back to roots. And you know, when I grew up, all we did with kale was shove it on the end of a plate, and it was that tacky garnish of the 1980s that I hate. But you know, now people are eating it. I love kale. I love anything with a rustic, earthy flavor to it. You know, I didn't eat beets till I was 25 years old. I couldn't eat enough beets right now. I love that flavor.
So it tastes good and it feels good.
I think so. I think so. So I'm gonna get that oil nice and hot. While I'm doing that, I'm just gonna roll out a lime. You know the old trick, roll it out to release the juices. I'm gonna get myself.
How about that bit about putting it in the microwave for 30 seconds? Does that really release a lot of that juice?
I can't tell you. I'll tell you why. Because my wife is a born-again hippie, and we don't have a microwave at home. So I never use a microwave. Most of my testing is at home, and we don't use a microwave at home. So I don't know. I've heard the trick too, but I just figure I'll squeeze real hard. And
would lemon work as well as the lime?
You can use either. A citrus is what we're looking for, but I like lime.
Well, let's do it.
All right, so I'm going to add the greens to my hot oil.
What? Any particular kind of oil? Just regular olive oil?
I'm using an olive oil.
Ooh.
First thing we need to do, some pepper, Mike. 1 or 2 good pinches of salt. One or 2 pinches of pepper.
Now I notice you use the coarse salt and the coarse pepper. Is that?
And then I add about a tablespoon of chopped garlic. Now I'm cooking this as though I was eating it. So I'm adding garlic at the end, because I like I talked about, that bite of garlic. I'm a big fan of that. If I cook at the restaurant, I usually add the garlic first, make it mellow a little bit. But since me and you are going to be eating this, I figured we would try it.
What I find fascinating is that you have this level of cooking in something that's considered to be, well, what would I say, a sports bar?
A sports bar, well, you know, they hired me. I've owned restaurants. I've worked in 2, 3-star my whole life. My uncle, I helped him open 3 of his steakhouses, and my restaurant I would consider, you know, a solid 2-star restaurant. I went corporate after that. I worked for Hard Rock Cafe for years, running big kitchens. And when they came to me, they gave me a blank piece of paper and said, do whatever you want. We want to do a sports bar. So
you added a little plus.
I added a little plus to it. You know, I try not to get too fancy, because, you know, at the end of the day, we are a sports bar, and I tell my staff, at the end of the day, we sell burgers, wings, and a lot of Budweiser, but let's make sure it's a darn good burger and damn good wings, and if we're going to make a dish, let's make it as though, you know, it's a rough time out there. You know, if people go out and they're going to spend the money, I think they should get a worthwhile product. So I'm going to hit it with the citrus right at the end, and I'm also going to throw that basil in right at the end. You won't know the basil's there till you get one little bite of it, and it'll kind of just blow up with that licorice flavor in the back of your mouth.
This is something that could work up quickly, too. You don't need a great deal of time.
That is done. So I'm going to put these to the side real quick, and then we'll go take the meatloaf out of the oven.
Let's see.
TV magic. We've got the meatloaf ready to go. I got a nice golden brown crust. Pretty happy with the way that came out.
That looks like a pretty happy meatloaf.
Yeah, it is. And then, like I said, you know, this is, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 nice portions for dinner, and then of course, there's nothing better than a cold, nice meatloaf sandwich the next day. So I'm just going to do a smooth transfer over my cutting board. Ideally, we're going to let this rest for a little bit. You know, being in the restaurant, I'm going to pull the bacon off, just because I don't want chunks of burnt bacon ending up on a plate. And at home, I would covet this piece right here, but since we're the restaurant business, we want it to look very pretty. We're going to do a good
I guess that consistency that we spoke about in the very beginning makes it easier to cut.
Yeah, do you see? I mean, it's just not
wonderful.
as dense as most meatloaf, I think.
Wonderful
Put that
consistency.
there. I'm going to come over here and grab some mashed potatoes real quick.
Real comfort food.
I know, I love comfort food, and that's obvious because I got the belly to prove it. But some nice collard greens. And then I'm going to, normally I put this on the side, but you know, since you're here today, I want you to try it. I'm just going to put a little dollop just right in the middle so you can kind of spread that around. I even do this at home. My daughter loves it. A little sprig of rosemary. And let's go put a fork and knife to it.
At least.
All right, it's judgment time.
Judgment time. Now is the moment of truth.
Don't hold back.
But it's great sitting here. This place is usually so bustling with activity. It's so nice
It's
and
nice
quiet.
in the morning, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
really
love morning
great.
restaurants.
All right, here's the moment of truth.
Moment of truth.
I hope I find a little piece of that garlic in there.
Me too.
Aren't you going to join me?
I am. I'm just not as delicate as you.
Not my mother's meatloaf.
All right, I mean, I like the airiness of it. I'm dying if you try my collard greens, Marilyn. I eat them like spaghetti. Just give it a little twirl.
I don't think there's any way you can delicately eat these.
It's meatloaf at the end of the day.
It's going to be difficult, but I'll try.
That's right. Just a little twirl. Nice texture, garlic bite, a little salty. A little
First time I've ever had them.
You've never had collard greens? Never had collard greens.
Never had collard greens.
How can you be 35 years old and not have collard greens?
Well, thank you. You're very kind.
My first restaurant that I opened was in Tennessee, and I became a huge fan of that southern style of cooking and those ingredients. So I've been cooking with collard greens for a long time.
That
I love
is
them.
just delicious.
I'm glad you like it.
Tasted the finished product, and I know how much love and heart goes into what you're cooking. How have things changed when you're being so cautious of what's healthy as well as tasting good?
You know, for me, it's a little easier in this environment because I run sports bars. You know, we do sports bars. We try to do a better food than most. We try to bring a little more creativity to it. But at the end of the day, when you're watching the game, you're not as conscious. But
certainly something like this is more healthy than a plate of nachos or
it definitely
a large
is. It definitely
pizza.
is. You can make choices. I mean, we all make choices now. I mean, I try to do things like take good, you know, can I do organic everything and be able to price things out to be able to give to a basic American? No. But I can buy organic vegetables. They're reasonable. We do a lot of carrots. We do a lot of collard greens. We do broccoli. And we can go organic there.
Now that I've been introduced to that delightful green, warm vegetable, wouldn't that be nice on a pizza? A white pizza with collard greens and garlic.
I think that'd be a great idea. You know, it'd be a take on, they do a broccoli rabe pizza, a very Italian pizza, which is broccoli rabe, garlic, and white sauce, and do that with a collard green instead. That's a great idea. Once you come in this Friday, we'll be running that for a special this Friday night.
Will you name it after me?
I will, be the Maryland Pizza.
This has been such a nice visit, and I've seen a whole different side to what I consider bar food. It says to me that you're health conscious, that you're consumer conscious, and that you're a great chef.
Well, it's been our pleasure having you here. Thank you very much.